Hello crafty friends, you may remember in Saturday's video I made lots of DIY cardstock frames. So I thought in today's video I would use these frames and some of the solid shapes that came out of the inside of the frames to make a bunch of cards for you. So the first thing I did was take a handful of card blanks and my rule of thirds acetate grid and mark the intersections. I then took a ruler and drew lines through the marks I'd just made. And I did that so that I could stamp some sentiments straight on my card fronts and have them sitting on those sweet spots, the intersections of the vertical and horizontal lines of the grid. For my sentiments, I chose some stamps that were in all capitals and I stamped them in Vesfine Onyx Black ink so that they would really stand out amongst the colourful frames that I was going to put around them. To make sure my stamps were lined up straight on that line that I'd drawn with a pencil, I used a set square in my stamp positioner. Then I picked up the stamp with the door, erased all the pencil marks I'd made, and then stamped my stamp. And you'd never know that I'd made any pencil marks on the front of the card that way. Once the ink was dry, I grabbed all 8 of my cards and chose a main frame to put around each sentiment. I wanted something bold and that would work well with maybe the sentiment itself, the meaning of the sentiment, and also with the length of the sentiment. Once I'd settled on my main frames, I put some glue on the back of each one and then placed them on their appropriate card and used scissors to chop off any overhanging bits of frame. I used high-tack PVA glue because it's very tacky and holds things in place even before it's completely dried. So after I'd stuck down all my main frames, I then brought in the rest of my frames and stuck those on the card in pleasing arrangements. So on my star card that says Time to Celebrate, I added the 2 skinny blue frames. On the heart card that says Happy Birthday, I added the solid shapes from some of the frames. And I really like the way this one turned out. I love all the different colours and the solid shapes, but also that pop of black from the sentiment. For this gratitude card with a heart on it, I added 3 more solid hearts. And after I'd done the sort of layering of frames on my cards, I toddled off and punched and die cut lots of shapes out of gold glitter cardstock. And I added these to each card to draw attention to the sentiment area. So stars was a big one. I particularly like adding stars for kind of proud of yous and well dones and congratulations and let's celebrate. I think the star motif works really well with those kinds of cards. I also punched out some little hearts and added those to various cards too. For my card with my big butterfly frame on, I die cut lots of butterflies out of the gold glitter cardstock. I added 5 larger butterflies and then a whole bunch of smaller butterflies. And I had them fluttering up the card in the same direction as the main butterfly. I know this video is kind of jumping around a bit. I'm jumping between cards, between stages, but that's kind of how I worked on this set of cards. I started with the sentiment, I added a main frame to each one, I added subsidiary frames, and then I added gold glitter, and then I sort of took a bit of a break and thought about if I needed to add anything else to the cards, and then I came back and did that. If you're going to make a bunch of cards like this, how do you work on them? Do you plan it all out and work on one card at a time? Or do you just start and see where it takes you and work between cards, jumping about here and there? Do let me know in the comments. For this card, the Happy Anniversary card, I added 2 large hearts to the top right hand corner of the frame and popped the front heart up on a bit of craft foam for a bit of extra dimension. I then added a gold glitter heart, slightly offset, And then I went around the outside with a gold gel pen to give it a faux stitching look. I thought that finished it off nicely. I did have some butterflies left over from the butterfly card, so once I'd stuck the stars down to this card, I added butterflies in all the little white gaps between the shapes. And for my large butterfly card, I used a very pale pink dot marker and a pale blue dot marker to add some dots amongst the butterflies, just to bring in another pop of colour. Off camera, I did add some crystal glaze to some of the gold glitter embellishments. And that's how I finished off this butterfly card, with crystal glaze on the large butterflies. For this Hi There card, I added some pale gold Nouveau drops in a diagonal across the card, taking in all the various elements along the way. For this Best of Luck card, again, I used pale gold Nouveau drops and clustered them around the sentiment again to draw the eye to the words there. Here come the Nouveau drops again, same principle, just adding them in an artistic way to try and draw the eye to the main focal point. And on this card I added some fairly bright pink dots with my dot marker, and you can see the heart on the pink heart has got some gloss on it. For this happy birthday card I just added gloss to the stars, not to the butterflies, again to create a bit of variation and to draw the eye down to that sentiment. For my thanks card, I swapped out my gold Nouveau drops for white Nouveau drops and scattered them amongst all the different hearts there, the gold ones, the white ones, the big pink one. And finally I finished off my last card, the Star Time to Celebrate card, with some gold stars and some gold Nouveau drops and some crystal glaze. And there you go. That's I think 8 cards done with the frames that I made in Saturday's DIY frame video. If you want to watch that, do check this video's description because there will be a link to it there for you, or you can find it on my channel page. And if you've enjoyed today's video, then please do let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and I'll see you back here very soon for another video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.